My true delight to greet you and welcome you this morning to our final day of our 18th annual U.S. Department of Energy Small Business Forum and Expo. At this time, please help me welcome our director, Charles Smith.
Hey, good morning. I'm sorry, no saxophone this morning. No candy and Cougar, I'm sorry, there's no special K either. But we do have with us here one of the great advocates for small business at the Department of Energy. I was super excited when Assistant Secretary White agreed to do this for us, and I believe at the end of her remarks, the intention is to open up some microphones here for some questions. So I look forward to that dialogue. Our keynote speaker today, the Honorable Ann White, was confirmed as the Assistant Secretary for Environmental Management in March 2018. Her roles as EM Assistant Secretary include providing strategic leadership for the cleanup of nuclear weapon sites across the country and leading the department's mission of successfully addressing environmental and nuclear challenges. Assistant Secretary White has more than 25 years of experience at many DOE sites, and she's supported a number of foreign countries in refining their policies to deliver safe and effective solutions for advancing nuclear expertise for peaceful purposes. She's an internationally recognized leader for innovative stakeholder outreach strategies and diverse regulatory structures, having built these skills in her own small business, solving complex environmental challenges for clients across the globe. Since joining the department, Ms. White has reduced the nation's environmental liability by putting EM sites on a clear path to completion. Her initiatives include reducing cleanup risks and life cycle costs, and establishing a disposal policy defining the best paths for safely treating, disposing, and containing waste. She's employing an end-state contracting approach to accelerate cleanup with new strategies that are more cost-effective, reducing risk to human health and to the environment. And she's doing all this with an ongoing, meaningful local, regional, and national stakeholder engagement. Ms. White holds a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics from the University of Kansas, a Master of Science in Nuclear Engineering and Health Physics from the University of Missouri, Columbia. She's a champion of STEM, a former competitive figure skater, and an inspiring leader. Please join me in welcoming Assistant Secretary Ann White.
Lights are kind of rock star-ish. So I was really more Tanya Harding than Nancy Kerrigan. Just saying. Anyway, good morning, everybody. It's great to be here bright and early. And I'd like to thank the Mistress of Ceremony, Miss Camille George, for being with us here this morning. And I told her, I said, I want to be called the Mistress of something at some time. But anyway, something you may not know is that I'm a former University of Kansas Jayhawk, and Camille is a former University of Maryland Terrapin. Both schools are great basketball schools, and while we don't play each other often, when we do, it's quite a show. The last time we played each other, the Jayhawks came out on top, 79-63. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Also, I want to thank Charlie for being here. It's great to see you. For anyone who knows Charlie, they know he has quite the background. He attended Princeton, served 5 years active duty in the Navy. Thank you for your service, Charlie. He spent time working in banking and even worked a stint on Capitol Hill in DC. Not to mention, he also served in 3 different state government administrations and in the office of the New Jersey governor. Talk about experience. Charlie reminded me last night that I actually have maybe one of the coolest jobs on the planet. And it just reminded me once again the honor it is to serve the American people. So I'm just happy to be here, and thanks for that reminder, Charlie. So thank you guys for being here. Before entering federal service, I myself was a small business owner. I got started the same way many of you did, by seeing a need and setting out to fill that need. My biggest piece of advice would be to fit your skill sets with things that excite you. Throughout my career, I've been lucky enough to pursue work I felt passionate about. Having the courage to embrace your interests, believe in yourself, is the foundation for any good venture, in business as in life. When I owned my business, we were small but determined band of technical experts, tiny but mighty. We worked around the clock to get things done. In fact, our unofficial motto was, somebody's always awake, because many times that was literally the case. We truly understood our customer and what they needed. Having the ability to fully anticipate the needs of the customer, effectively communicate those needs, and then put the work to not only meet but exceed them is key to any successful contractor. Skills that are essential to me today as I lead the department's EM program. I also understand the importance of expanding opportunities for America's job creators and the positive impact small business has across the Department of Energy's many mission areas, including the cleanup program that I have the privilege of leading. As we prepare to mark National Small Business Week in May, I'm reminded of the words of President Trump used in honoring small businesses last year. He said, and I quote, "Small business owners embody the American pioneering spirit and remind us that determination can turn aspiration into achievement." Through that can-do spirit, small businesses serve the Department of Energy well. I value the department's relationship with our small business partners, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk with so many of you here today. This marks the 30th anniversary of the department's environmental management program. EM is entering the next chapter of cleanup, one with a renewed focus on driving cleanup towards completion. I want to move forward in a way that engages small businesses like yours on opportunities to be a part of this next chapter. I want to use the unique assets small businesses bring to the table. In many cases, small businesses have shown their ability to be nimble and deliver success. In short, we have some real opportunities to work together to advance cleanup, to prepare the next generation workforce, and to ensure a bright and prosperous future. I recognize that you come from a wide range of business backgrounds, so let's take a step back for a moment to consider the sheer magnitude and complexity of the EM program. One of the things that surprised me most when I first got into office was that EM, environmental liabilities, represents the third biggest liability to the US taxpayer. EM program is 84% of that liability. So we have our work cut out for us, to be sure. EM is charged with completing the cleanup of the environmental legacy resulting from nuclear defense programs that helped end World War II and the Cold War. The environmental legacy we are dealing with today includes radioactive liquid waste stored in massive underground tanks, contaminated soil, groundwater and buildings, spent nuclear fuel, and other nuclear materials. When the program began 3 decades ago, EM was responsible for a total of 107 sites. Today, we are down to 16. Our remaining sites, though, represent some of the nation's toughest and most complex cleanup challenges. I'm working to safely and effectively tackle those challenges in a way that propels cleanup toward completion. Measurable, meaningful progress is being made across the board. This progress would not be possible without EM's many contractor partners who are responsible for carrying the work out on the ground. That includes small businesses. In Utah, an SBA-certified 8A program participant is currently performing $24 million technical assistance contract at Moab. At our Hanford site in the state of Washington, we work with a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business. With a reputation for investing in its employees, this small business, like many others we partner with, is able to attract the subject matter experts and next generation of workers needed to support prime contractor cleanup efforts that are focused on the central part of the site. An Idaho Falls machine shop fabricated new hatch covers for one of the largest hot cells at INL's site. Those modifications have allowed EM's prime contractor to implement efforts to treat and repackage remote-handled transuranic waste. Easy for me to say. The prime contractor responsible for very successful D&D work at the East Tennessee Technology Park in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, has subcontracted nearly $1.2 billion of its work, with more than $960 million of that going to small businesses. At the Savannah River site in South Carolina, a local small business worked to complete both site prep for the SDU 7 construction project last summer. The impacts small businesses have on the EM mission are clear. Last year, EM's small business procurements totaled nearly $400 million. From my time in industry, I understand where work gets done. It's out in the field. Cleanup progress at EM field sites would not be possible without our contractor partners. In fact, 90% of cleanup work is contracted out to the best of private businesses, both large and small. With billions of dollars in procurements coming up at some of our largest sites over the next few years, EM has significant opportunity to improve our acquisition process. That includes a shift to a contract approach that drives accelerated completion of work and gets our sites closer to their intended end use faster. In February, the department released 2 final RFPs for contracts at the Hanford site, both of which reflect this new contracting model. This quarter, the department will release a final RFP for the Nevada EM work that also uses this new contracting model. This is a small set-aside opportunity. I'm working to improve the trajectory of the program by driving down liabilities and identifying opportunities to get our projects done. This will allow the communities that gave so much during the Cold War to envision a vibrant future with enduring economic activity. I believe that small businesses have significant contributions to make to this new chapter in the cleanup mission, and I want you to consider being a part of it. That's why I make it a priority for me and my team to participate in this event and others like it across the country. Last month, I had the opportunity to participate in Reservation Economic Summit 2019, an event focused on the Native American business community. We routinely participate in events with groups like the Energy Technology and Environmental Business Association, the Energy Communities Alliance, and others. We also prioritize more localized events in the communities that host our EM sites. Events like Bridging Partnerships in the Tri-Cities in Washington State and the DOE Summer 19 New Mexico Small Business Expo. I have small business program managers who meet with companies like yours, review your capability statements, discuss prime contracting opportunities, and connect you with larger contractors looking for partners. One of the tools that has proven useful in finding these matches is the DOE Mentor Protege program. I was encouraged to see a session on that program in yesterday's agenda, as well as the one-on-one matchmaking session. Aside from performing work in the field, the role of small businesses includes STEM and next-gen workforce development. Our collective success, whether in government or in business, will ultimately depend on the next generation of problem solvers, innovators, and leaders with a passion for the work we do. I know this is an important topic to many of you in the business community, as it is for me and the department. Our nation depends on a diverse and robust STEM talent pool to support the vital work we do as we transition to the innovation-based economy of the future. You heard from Director Campos yesterday. Actually, the director and I were sworn in by the Secretary Perry on the same day, and the director's family was clearly so very proud of him, and there were very many of them. It was a fun day. The director is working hard to address the challenges in diversifying the workforce and encouraging more individuals from underrepresented groups to enter STEM-related fields. Local business leaders, chambers of commerce, and economic development organizations have great influence in fostering that talent pool. A talent pool that will be necessary if EM is to successfully propel the cleanup mission forward and drive towards completion. Having worked and lived in the communities that host EM sites over the course of my career, I recognize how important the safe and effective cleanup is. Bringing fresh faces into our broader cleanup teams through events like this are important to me and to the success of our mission. This forum offers EM multiple ways to connect with the small business community. I know you heard from Angela Watmore and Anne-Marie Bird yesterday. Know that our team here stands ready to help you learn about the federal procurement process and the variety of business opportunities to support EM and other DOE program offices. More than anything, I hope you leave this forum knowing there is a role for small business in EM and feeling excited about exploring additional opportunities to work together. Thank you. All right. Anybody got any questions? Am I getting off easy? Cricket, cricket, cricket. I like it.
No questions? No questions, folks? Assistant Secretary White? Don't get a lot of shot first.
I'm just curious, do you get involved in things like Fukushima and things like that outside of the United States?
So EM actually has varying bilateral agreements with other countries, including Japan. So we're actually looking at potentially directly supporting the NDF over there in the Fukushima mission. They've got their hands full over there, to be sure. I visited there last year, and it was incredible to see that they have made a lot of progress, but there's still a ways to go. Yep.
Morning, Ms. White. Scott Clemens, Office of Acquisition. You mentioned the new contracting model you're using, in-state contracting. Can you just summarize kind of what that is for the audience?
Yeah, so our previous procurement process was big 10-year contracts, and sometimes we weren't 100% clear on what it was we were buying. And then once the true-up came, it sort of started with, well, this isn't what you said it was, and it started a bit of an adversarial relationship in some cases. And so what this contract model seeks to do is, my predecessor used to say, we got to chunk the work, we got to chunk the work. What this attempts to do is just that, so that we can have basically the award based first on personnel experience, and then after post-award, we sit down and actually partner with our contractors and say, what is the best things we can be doing over the next 5 years, 8 years, 3 years? It'll depend very much on the site and the scope of work. But sitting down together and agreeing on that scope, we as the federal government understand what we're buying, and the contractor understands what is the specific endpoint they need to be at when that task order is completed. And so it just provides a higher level of clarity for all parties. And also, too, it provides an incentive structure that we think is really going to drive some very high performance. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. We're very excited about it, I got to tell you. I was out at Hanford visiting the crew, and there was just a lot of excitement. I'm really proud of everybody working on this new model, because new things are sometimes a little mind-blowing for people. So it's been very good.
It's not so much a question, but a comment.
Hey, Roxy.
Assistant Secretary. I just want to say thank you. I feel you're making change for the first time in history in Indian country, and the chatter out there is definitely positive, and you're rolling up your sleeves, and you're really getting involved, and it's making a difference, and thank you.
That's so great to hear. Thanks, Roxy. Thank you.
I have one. Good morning, Ann. Thanks
Hey.
for coming. Question with this new model and the fact that you're going to be, like on the big sites, you're going to be issuing initial operations contracts, then working on completion chunking, as you said. I think you're in a unique position here to give some input to this group as a small business owner. That's really going to change workforce dynamics and maybe provide some additional opportunities for small business. So could you comment a little bit on how you see that working with workforce dynamics and how that might constitute opportunities for small business that have heretofore been pretty much in the large business arena? Thank you.
Yeah, so the way I think this will work, and I hope it will work, is that, as I've mentioned, small business can be far more nimble than large business. And I think as things roll out and we get into post-award and partnering and discussions, it's probably going to become very clear what some of the needs are that are going to be ideally suited for small business and meaningful work. Start, middle, end. Go be nimble, go be quick, small business. And I think it's going to create some really great opportunities. I hope it does. Yep. All right, let's have coffee or something. One more. Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, some of the one-on-one sessions I think are great matchmaking opportunities. That I think y'all had one yesterday, maybe. Yes. Yeah, and when I was out there, that was always the key. Exactly, was to get hitched up with a larger business and provide good services, be nimble and be quick, and that's how I was able to grow my little company. So, yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Ann. That was great. I mean, now, true champion of small business, and without a doubt, you're one of the favorite people in the building, and you're great to work with, and really appreciate you being here this morning. Got a few prepared closing remarks. There's 4 bullets here. Don't get nervous. I just wanted to take the chance as we end here to one say I've really enjoyed this week. I've interacted with a lot of you, learned an awful lot. Breakout sessions were some of the most well-attended, busy breakout sessions I've seen at any number of events. So that was, I compliment the small businesses who were attending, and DOE staff who were attending other presentations done by small business program managers, contracting officers, and the like. It was, and the good news is we got a few more good ones this morning. So I wanted to compliment you on that. I wanted to thank AQS. AQS put on a great show, I think. It's our last conference with AQS, and we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. I want to thank my staff. You guys are making this better every year. I've only been here 2, but thank you. Our sponsors, some of the great leaders that spoke here this week, I know they're not in the room, but I really appreciated Regional Administrator Christian's remarks. Our Director of Economic Impact and Diversity, James Campos, who's still around. I saw James interacting with a lot of you. He really participated a lot in this event, and I'm indebted to him for that. He helped make this a lot better. Kaplan Mowbray. What else? I don't know what else to say. I didn't even get to sleep last night. I was so excited. Lastly, I want to thank the small businesses for coming. There was more of you here this year than last year. Like I said in the beginning, I knew you'd work that exhibit hall, and you certainly didn't let me down. And I was pleased to hear feedback from a lot of you that you developed some leads and made some new relationships, and that you found this productive. So grateful for your participation. I hope to see you later on in the year in Albuquerque, and hope to see you next year. And lastly, I want to encourage you to enjoy these closing sessions that are coming up here in a little bit, and have safe trips home. And thank you very much, folks. Appreciate it. Great conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's general session. Breakout sessions will begin at 10 a.m.